So everybody seemed to really like my last Stellar Blade video, so yeah, let's just do that again. That's called a rehash, baby. How America does it. No new ideas here. I've been enjoying the hell out of Stellar Blade, and it's probably my favorite game I've played this year so far. But while I am enjoying myself, and it is a very good game, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's very smooth and luscious and bodacious. Right, okay. So today we're gonna go over all the major flaws and say what the developers could fix to possibly make it the perfect game. And if you enjoy soulless rehashes like this, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Yeah. But enough wasting your time, let's get this shit started. So to start, we're gonna talk about the obvious one, the thing that everyone has complained about, and that is the game's writing. Now, to be honest with you, I don't think the writing is as bad as people have said it is. And I think what people are actually complaining about is the American voice acting not being able to sell the lines that are written for them. This is almost entirely fixed by switching the language to its original Korean voice actors. The Korean voices are just way more animated, they're less stilted. A lot of the jokes that are told with the American voice acting that just completely fall flat are actually pretty funny if you listen to it in Korean. It's overall just a much better experience. And the sad thing about it all is that this isn't really Shift Up's fault. They are a Korean game company that made the game in Korean with Korean actors and a Korean director. They did their job properly. After the game was finished and done with, they shipped it off to Sony North America, where a completely different team came in, hired their own voice actors, and did all the American voice recordings. Shift Up had literally nothing to do with it. So I just don't think it's entirely fair to hold the bad English voice acting against Shift Up, who made the game with the expectation that it would be played in Korean. Having said that, there are still some pretty major problems with the writing. 90% of the writing in this game exists for the sole purpose of pushing plot forward, and almost no character work at all. Throughout the entire course of the game, there's only 2 characters that get any sort of characterization outside of just pushing plot forward, and that would be Lily and Digger. That's not enough. If they're ever going to make a sequel to this game, they either need to, 1, get a new writer, or 2, the writer who wrote this one needs to learn to push plot forward as well as working characterization for the characters within his story. Because as is, I feel like they had a pretty interesting world and story idea and focused on that while completely ignoring all of the characters. Like, what can you even say about Eve other than she likes collecting cans and doesn't like swimming? It's pretty fucking bare bones is what I'm saying. Alright, next, this game seriously needs to unfuck fast travel. In case you didn't know, Stellar Blade does not have an open world. It has a bunch of large sections that you can travel in between. And there's a fast travel system in the form of telephones where you go up to a telephone, pick up the telephone, it'll teleport you to another telephone of your choice. The problem is that you can't go to any telephone in any map from any other telephone. So for instance, if you're in Zion and you want to fast travel to a specific point in the desert, I have to go to a telephone within Zion, teleport to the door of Zion, then walk from the door to the desert to another telephone within the desert so that I can then teleport again to another point also within the desert. So to travel from one location to another location that is in the next area over, I have to sit through 2 loading screens and 3 different walking sections. Does this sound convoluted and confusing to you? Because it fucking is. There's just no good reason that exists in this game why I can't just open up the pause menu and instantly teleport to any fast travel location I want to. Why do I even have to go to a telephone to teleport to another telephone? All you're doing is adding a bunch of filler to the runtime. This game is not that long, about 10 to 12 hours. But if you take out all the fast travel fuckery, I guarantee you're shaving 3 hours off that runtime. This shit is fucking unnecessary. And while we're on this, can someone please unfuck the compass? There is no setting in this game to just have the compass always up. In order to see the compass, you have to activate the scanner, and then the compass pops up for like 5 seconds and then goes away again. There is no setting to keep the compass up all the time. That shit needs to be fixed big time. Alright, next you gotta unfuck the climbing system. So I'm not a fan of these kind of climbing systems just in general, like God of War and Horizon, where you don't actually have to do anything. You just aim the character in a particular direction and press X when you have to, and he'll automatically climb everything for you. There's no chance of falling or any real gameplay here. It's literally just wasting your time. Well, Stellar Blade has this too, but it's a little worse. They don't really work all the time. Like at one point I fell 5 times just trying to do a simple wall run because Eve just wouldn't cling to the wall properly when I jumped to do a wall run. This is an issue that I had consistently throughout the entire game. And don't you fucking say that you need to just get good. Listen, I've been doing wall running since Prince of Persia, okay? I've been doing this shit a long fucking time. I know how to wall run. I'm a fucking wall running savant. It is not me not being able to wall run. The bitch is not clinging to the wall. But honestly, even if it is fixed, just do something different with the climbing. I'm so sick of this shit. Give us some kind of combat mechanics while we're fighting up the wall. Put some sort of challenge in front of us, like we have to time a jump because there's a fucking firewall or some shit. Just something to engages during the climb. Turn every climb you have to do into like a small puzzle or something. And this isn't just a Stellar Blade thing. Every video game across the board needs to start doing this, because these climbing sections are bullshit. Unfuck the economy. This is some bullshit. I'm paying $3.50 for fucking gas. Goddamn fucking Biden. Oh wait, hold up. Stellar Blade. No, my bad. The whole economy of Stellar Blade was just not play tested very well. There just isn't enough stuff to purchase in the game for the amount of money that you get. And even in the starting hours of the game, I never once had to save up to buy anything. And way before the halfway points, I just straight up didn't spend money. Almost everything worth buying in the store, you find a steady stream of out in the world while playing the game. So I basically never had to use my money, like ever. Throughout the whole game, I just kept collecting, waiting for there to be something big to buy that I would need to spend all this shit on, but nothing ever came up. This issue would have been easily solved by just not having so many different types of currency. So in the game, certain types of items will cost different kinds of currency. Like cosmetic items will cost Bitcoins. If you want to buy shit from Digger, it costs the micro robot shit. I forgot what it's called. But basically, different items cost different things. The only thing that you can really spend the main currency on is consumable items, which again, you are constantly finding out in the world. I don't really see the point in having all of these alternate currencies. Just make the only currency gold and have everything cost gold. I would understand getting alternate types of currency if you had to do different things in order to earn those currencies. Like maybe you only got Bitcoins from killing bosses or something. But that's not the case. You get all types of currencies from doing everything. Killing enemies, breaking open loot boxes, opening chests. It doesn't matter. You can get any form of currency. So what's the point in having so many different ones? What ends up happening very early on in the game is that there's certain currencies that you have so much you can't possibly spend on anything, and you'll have others that you barely get anything of. And there's really not that many ways to focus on gaining one over another. You just play the game normally until you have the right amount of currencies for the things that you want. Again, it's just not very intuitive and needs some serious work. Okay, this isn't the type of game that I would ever say needs a training mode, but it does have a training mode. If they took the time to already put a training mode in here, you might as well make it a good one, because the one that's in here is fucking shit. Basically, the training mode in this game allows you to go in this big white room where you fight against one enemy type, and you can just test out doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, that's fine, but that's it. Again, this isn't something I would complain about if there was no training mode in the game, but there is. So if you're gonna do it right. Why not have me be able to swap out the enemy type to any enemy that I can meet in the game so that I can practice fighting that enemy type and get better at it? Let me set that enemy type up to do a particular move over and over again so I can keep practicing countering that specific move that enemy type has. As is, I don't even know why they bothered putting in a training mode with just how bare bones it is. Okay, lastly, and in my personal opinion, the biggest wasted opportunity in the whole game, expand upon the vendor affection system. I don't really know what they were thinking with this, but it's so half-baked in the game. This could have been one of the coolest things, and it's so fucking forgettable, it might as well not even be in the game. So basically, in the game, there are different vendors, and when you buy things from the vendors, their affection level goes up. Every time it levels up, more stuff appears in their shop, and you can continue down whatever their unique quest line is. Now, this could be a really cool idea. The problem is they just don't go far enough with it. For one, all the vendors are so easy to level up that I leveled them up all the way when I first met them. Literally on our first meeting, I completely leveled up their affection and unlocked everything they had to unlock. On top of that, none of their storylines are interesting, like at all. And this is a problem because when you go to talk to them, you can't help but engage with said storyline. So for example, there's a vendor named Kaya, and her whole storyline is about her sister missing, and she used to have this shop with her sister, but ever since she's been missing, she's been doing it herself, and eventually she wants you to go and find a bunch of missing items. The problem is, up until you get that mission from her, she just bitches about her sister missing the whole time. It's the only thing she talks about. And conversations with her get very repetitive very quickly. Every time you use her shop, she will have this long dialogue with you and Eve, continuing this storyline of just her bitching about her sister missing. And very early on in this quest line, I just stopped giving a shit. Most of the time I go to Kaya's shop, it is not because I'm trying to continue her storyline. I'm just trying to buy some shit. And I have to sit there and listen to 3 or 4 minutes of dialogue every time I talk to her just when I want to sell something. If they were gonna make these storylines so uninteresting, there should be options when I talk to her, whether or not I want to just go into the shop or engage with the storyline. One or the other. Don't force me to do both. And funny enough, Kaya's one of the better ones. There's another vendor who is like this black market information dealer, and silly me, I thought her storyline was gonna be pretty cool. It's not. No exaggeration, literally every time you talk with her, all she does is flirt with Eve while Eve gets uncomfortable uncomfortable about her sexual advancements towards her. That's it. That's every single dialogue you have with this character. And just like Kaya, you have no choice but to listen to this entire dialogue that is not interesting at all and wait before you are allowed to go into the shop and purchase the things you want to purchase. Look, it's real simple. You ever play Mass Effect? You know how after every mission you're running around your whole ship like a chicken with his head cut off because you're looking for every single one of your crewmates to talk to? Because you want to hear what new dialogue they have to say so you can continue their personal story. You do that because those characters are interesting and engaging, and that becomes one of the funnest parts about playing the game. For some people, engaging with those characters is more fun than the actual third-person shooting in the game. But Stellar Blade is the farthest fucking thing from Mass Effect. I don't give a shit about any of these characters, and engaging with them is one of the worst parts of the game. The story and dialogue of this game is just here to get in the way from what you actually want to do, which is fight monsters. And that shouldn't be the case. And yes, I understand that the creator of Stellar Blade said that he's not a storyteller and it's just not a skill that he has. But if that's the case and he is aware of that case, why the fuck has he devoted so much time to story? He did put a story in his game, and for the most part, you are forced to engage with it in some way. So either he should have made a game that did not lean so heavily on his weaknesses, or he should have gotten someone else to develop the story. And this is a real bummer because this could have been one of the coolest parts of the game. If the vendor affection system played closer to something like the Confidants from Persona, it could have been really cool. Give each vendor more levels to level up and give them new and unique bonuses every time you level them up. Maybe once you level them all the way up, you can get something very special like a new skill or a new ability that you didn't have before, a new item that's not possible to get anywhere else. Have that vendor's relationship with Eve slowly develop over the course of the game. Have it take a long time to actually get to the end of it. Make me care about each and every one of these vendor characters. Instead of the shops out in the desert just being some random vending machine with nobody, have each one be like a computer screen where you start it up and a random vendor from Zion shows up on the screen that you can interact with. That way you can get really excited every time you activate a new camp, because you wouldn't only be activating a camp, you would also be unlocking the next story segment of this vendor's storyline. Anyway, that's gonna be all from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna go play more Stellar Blade. Make sure to comment down below what fixes y'all think will make this game perfect, because I'm really interested to hear what y'all have to say about this. And always remember, y'all stay safe out there, you hear?